It's me, Mario, and you are watching AntiSlave Question Everything.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
AntiSlave Question Everything. AntiSlave Question Everything.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Question Everything. Question Everything. AntiSlave Question Everything. AntiSlave Question Everything.
AntiSlave Question Everything.
AntiSlave Question Everything. AntiSlave Question Everything. AntiSlave Question Everything. Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Anti-Slave Question Everything. This is your host, Bo. Today we have a cool conversation with my buddy Voilame, and we're talking about spirituality, CERN, and a lot more. He's a very wise dude, and we had a really awesome conversation. But just before we get to that conversation, I want to let everybody know that you can find me on Spotify, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on BitChute, all at just AntiSlave QE. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Instagram at AntiSlave QE, and I'm also at on Reddit, and I have a subreddit for AntiSlave QE. It's just r/AntiSlave QE. Voilame, he's got TikTok, he's got Instagram, he's got an abundance of social media that I will include in this link description, because you definitely need to go check him out and follow him on everything that he has, because he's fucking awesome and he has so much knowledge about stuff, and I just needed to get him on my show and have an awesome conversation with him. So that awesome conversation will be what follows. Everybody enjoy.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, my friend. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. After looking and watching all your stuff, man, I'm fucking really infatuated with the work that you're doing.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. It's somebody has to try to wake some people up because we've been asleep for a long time.
Far too long, man. Far too long. And so just if you want to, for the people that for my listeners, if you want to give yourself a little introduction and like where to find your stuff.
Mhm.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so hello, you wonderful people. My name is Voilame. You can find me on most social media as Voilame, VOILAME _ for Instagram. For TikTok, it's Voilame_4 and Voilame_ 3.0. On my Instagram and my TikTok, I have links for all my other social media. You could just click the link in my bio and you can get to all my information that way. If you have a problem or trouble, don't worry. They try to block people from finding out the truth because I tell too much.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's right. I've seen
Check
that.
out,
You've had to make how many TikToks now?
I have 4 now. This is my
Yeah.
4th one. Yeah.
That's right, man. I had to track you down because I seen one video. That's where I found you, was on TikTok. It was on the suggested for you feed, and I seen it, and I think it was on the Voilame 3. It's
Yeah.
the one that I seen.
That's the one that most people see me on. They be like, I seen you on this like 5 times.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. I see. That's crazy too that TikTok be shutting people down. I didn't know that. I had no knowledge of TikTok. I just got onto TikTok like maybe a week ago, and I had no idea the amount of fucking truth that people are spreading on it.
That's why they want to block it. They recently had the UCC commission, basically the commission that oversees social media, radio, and whatnot. They said that they want to stop TikTok because it's a security threat, and China, who owns TikTok, uses it as a tool in order to make our government look bad. But it's not. It's people waking up at an astounding rate, an alarming rate for them. And if that's the case, they need to get rid of Facebook. They need to get rid of Twitter. They need to get rid of all the other social medias if it's such a security threat, because half of these apps are owned in other countries.
Right. That's right. Yeah, man. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. It really, yeah, it blew my mind, the amount of stuff that I'd be seeing on there. It's just,
Yeah.
and if I didn't even get TikTok, I would have had no idea that CERN was doing that shit coming up. Like I've heard of what they've been doing,
Mhm.
but I didn't know that they were doing it again.
Internet is the great equalizer. That's why if they can't stop the flow of information, they just want to turn the electronics and all the ways to communicate with each other off, because we're
Mhm.
connecting with each other at such a fast rate, they can't stop it. They can't stay in control if more and more people start seeing the foolishness they set up.
Right, right. That's true, man. It's just wow. It's just really, it's just a lot right now. It's just a lot right now. And I had a lot of people on Reddit specifically, a lot of people super interested on what's happening with CERN.
Oh man, I could give you a short description if you'd like. So basically, CERN is a particle collider. The goal of CERN is to find the God particle, which is one of their goals. Basically, the God particle is what started the Big Bang, what we've been taught in school the entire existence. They are looking to actually harness this energy called dark matter or cosmic energy or ether. The ether energy is basically the basis of creation for all living and non-living things on the planet. And what they want to do as well as harness the energy of people. People say you can't harvest energy of people. If you look at the layout of cities, all cities are built like motherboards and chips. And the reason why you feel so much better going in nature than you do in going in the cities is because they put electromagnetic frequencies in big cities too to disrupt your brain waves. Why do you think they play usually like arson, murder, and all these types of things on the normal news every day and then tell you the weather and then you go into traffic and you feel like, man, this isn't life. This isn't all there is just to get up at a certain time to go work for somebody you don't want to work for. The whole system was created to make you a slave. Even the 8 hour workday, we're not supposed to work 8 hours a day. The 8 hour sleep schedule was designed for you to match the 8 hour workday. You don't have to sleep 8 hours a day. They just told us that you can sleep 3 or 4 hours a day and be okay. It just depends on what you're eating and how your health and diet is.
Mm. Wow, man. That's crazy. And I definitely believe that they're harvesting energy from people. I don't have you seen that shit? I know this was a while ago, but
Mhm.
what was happening on Travis Scott concert when that shit caught on fire?
Yeah.
Did you see that footage of the I believe this was at that concert, but there was something going through the fucking rows of people.
Yes. So what that's called is an it's an archon. An archon is basically call it an energy eater. It siphons the negative emotions from people. So whenever you go into big crowds like stadiums, concerts, big big events, you can generate good energy at the same event, but that's why they required you to have certain medicines inside of you. When your vibration is lower in a big crowd, you attract a bunch of negative energy. And I can siphon that negative energy from you. A lot of music is played on 440 hertz, which is known to cause pain, distortion, sadness, greed, all kinds of negative influences towards our energy, and they use that in order to summon things. People think that's a joke. They do use that to summon things. The power of belief and the power of faith isn't just for religions. The whole it's like throwing your energy into the sky. Let's say raise your hands in the air. That's a commandment. Raise your
Uh,
hands in the air.
right.
I'm
At concerts
commanding
with the
your
lighters and stuff.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
lighters too.
Yeah.
All of that is a way to command energy.
Mm.
I'll give you another example. You remember kings and queens?
Hmm.
You know how they always used to wear crowns, right?
Yeah.
Their crowns were made out of gold. Gold is a conductor of electricity and energy. Some of those crowns had jewels, crystals,
Yeah.
like the crystals people have and wear. They
Yeah.
would have those on the crown, right? So let me ask you, if I was a king and I ruled over a bunch of people and you had faith and power, couldn't I absorb that energy into my crown? If you
Oh
look at
wow.
how crown tips are, the tips, don't those look like antennas?
Yeah. So it's
Hmm.
like, so the crown could be a power receptacle that would be gathering said energy from those people, thus possibly forming said king's reality because he could use energy, because I believe in manifestation. I really do. That one movie, The Secret, that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. I like that movie, and I like the explanation that they were talking about in that. Um, and I'm not the smartest dude, but I do try to wrap my head around big philosophies, you know. And it's crazy stuff, man. And I really do believe in that, and I really do believe in like the power of energy. Because you know, if you've been in a place where you feel like something bad has happened, and I have personally, you know, I there used to be a certain place that I would go and I didn't like this spot, and I ever since I was a kid I never knew why I didn't like this spot, and then lo and behold, way later in my life when I'm an adult, I find out some terrible shits happened to some of my family members in said spot, you know?
Yeah.
And I knew that ever since I was a child, but I could never put my finger on it, you know?
What it
So,
is called your toroidal field. So everybody has a toroidal field around them. Think of like an aura. You have these grid lines basically around you in circles around you at all times.
mhm.
Whenever you go somewhere and you feel your heartbeat or your body twitch, or you get a twitching sensation through your ears or a ringing, it's like a notification like ding, hey, something's up right here, or hey, ding, you need to pay attention, or
Wow.
ding, yeah, that's what all those little signs are.
Wow, dude. I've had situations in my life where I've just been like, wow, this is a gut instinct where something is about to happen and it has happened because like I'm an open book. I lived before I've gotten like here, I was a drug addict for most of my life. I was smoking crystal meth on the streets, and that for me myself, and now I'm clean now, but so on the streets, and that for me myself, it felt like I was taking myself away from my spirituality with those drugs because and also another thing which is a thing that back then made me feel like I was crazy, but I'd stay up multiple nights and I'd see shadow people, but I'd
Hmm.
feel like I was bringing myself closer to the negative spiritual realm because I was closing my spirituality and I was lowering my vibrations and my actual soul myself I was killing with this drug because I think that those like there's a couple of drugs like meth and heroin and fentanyl and shit. I think that those drugs really kill your soul.
They do. That's why they were manufactured in the way they do. Most drugs come from natural plants that they remanufacture. Most plants have spirits or spirit energy inside of them. So when you start altering and adding towards the, let's say you got a coca leaf
Mm-hmm.
and you start manufacturing the coca leaf by itself is good for you. It's really good for you. It has a lot of benefits. It's a stimulant like caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start manufacturing and adding all this other stuff to it, that's when it changes the characteristics and the properties of even the spirit that's inside of the plant, the energy.
Wow. Wow, that is so crazy, man. That is so
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That
But
is just
just
it's wild.
they're like certain drugs that they consider illegal in America, like ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
Ayahuasca is known as the life purpose drug. After you take it, you'll have more understanding of what your
Right.
purpose is in life because the real ayahuasca comes from a tree. Some
Yeah.
people use frogs and all this other stuff, but the real ayahuasca comes from a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And the tree is an ancient tree. It's been around for thousands of years. And when you take it, like I said, it opens something inside of you. Same thing with mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Mushrooms are older than us.
Wow. Yeah.
Mushrooms are, yeah, and they're
And don't
very
we
intelligent.
don't we share some sort of physical like genetic makeup with mushrooms?
We do. And
Wow.
also, yeah, mushrooms also
Wow.
are very intelligent. So if you said they did an experiment where they set mushrooms inside of a labyrinth, right?
Uh-huh.
The bottom roots of the mushroom couldn't figure out where to go at first. It took maybe a couple hours. And when it figured out the labyrinth, it set its roots to shape the whole labyrinth. So they had one set path for it. Once it figured out that set path, it started separating roots and all the paths and made a perfect network to
Wow.
cover the entire labyrinth. That's how powerful mushrooms are. That's why they
Wow.
ban them in a lot of places. That's
Wow.
why they ban there's another herb called ibogaine.
Hmm.
Ibogaine is one of the herbs in the planet that can cure you of addictions. It eliminates that dopamine feel or that feeling in your brain that you need in order for that to have that addiction. It eliminates it completely, and it's one of the Schedule 2 drugs in America.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's what
Wow,
I'm
man.
saying. A lot of stuff they block and hide and tell you is so you won't wake up, so I can keep control over your mind.
Wow, man. For me personally, like I was an atheist a lot of my life. I didn't believe in any type of spirituality. And then
Mhm.
like again, like I said, I was very disconnected because I was on drugs for a long time.
Yeah.
But when I got out of my drug addiction, really, I decided that I would do DMT. And I had a wild fucking experience. And I've done it since then, like a lot, you know,
Hmm.
and done it out in the woods. I've done it out, and and it's just like, and for me personally, the times I'm done with it now, I've had my experiences with it, and I'm
Hmm.
and I've learned from those experiences, and now I'm at the point where I'm just like, okay, cool. So I did all that then, and now I'm where I'm at now, and I have the understanding that I have now. But after the experiences that I did have,
Hmm.
there's no way that there's not something spiritual going on, man. Like I can't even explain the
I know
experiences. I
most people
remember
can't.
coming back from it and seeing strands of energy that connected all of us together. Everybody that was in the room was connected by this pink strand of energy, and then as the effects of it were wearing off, like my ability to see everyone's aura and our strand of energy, it was an amazing experience. The first time that I did it was when I came back and I saw all the energy strands, and I was just like, holy shit, we are all connected. And I couldn't see the roof or the ceiling of the house I was in anymore
Hmm.
when I was coming back down, but I could see all the energy strands going to all the other houses. Like it was a big network, and I was just coming back down, and I saw the sphere too. Everybody talks about the sphere, but I saw the sphere, and and at first it was shooting colors that I recognized, but then it
Yeah.
started shooting colors that I've never seen before and could never even put a finger or a name on. So that was my waking up and my spiritual experience. And then also just since then, dude, I got into like rock hounding and collecting crystals from the earth and stuff, and found some pretty awesome amethyst clusters out in fucking Hanson's Creek and stuff. And so, it's just,
Everybody's awakening usually starts with an experience using some extracurriculars.
yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah, it
That's
usually
right, man.
starts. So, if you've never tried it, make sure you do it in a good headspace. DMT is what your body produces right before it dies. So, basically, right before you die, your brain will produce a bunch of DMT. So, that aids in those flashbacks you may see before you pass away. That aids in seeing those spirits you may see around you before you go away. That's why DMT is so vital. If you give it to a person with PTSD, same thing with mushrooms, they may have an awakening in themselves and change their personality completely. I've met a few veterans myself who went to Peru, did ayahuasca. They were always having nightmares and terrors and all this, instantly gone
Mm-hmm.
within 2 or 3 days after doing
Wow.
it, instantly gone.
It's
That's how
amazing.
powerful our herbs and our medicine is. We have everything we need on the planet, but they want to hide the most important things for themselves and keep it from you so you don't wake up.
Mm-hmm. And stuff like the concrete that we have, the concrete jungles around the cities, the soles of our shoes, our rubber. We have a layer of concrete, a layer of rubber, our socks, whatever, disconnecting us from the earth most of the times.
Hmm. That's
And
why
when
they
you're
call it the
grounded,
soul.
and yeah, and then but when you're grounded to the earth, you feel so much better. And when you're out in the woods, you feel so much better. And it's peace. It's true
It, re-
peace.
it really is. You see the difference from when you're in the city and when you go out in nature. Some people say, I'm not a nature person. You may not be a nature person, but when you go to the water, you get the same effects.
Yeah, right, man. And another thing too. So I want to get back and ask you a couple of questions that has to do with CERN.
Okay.
So because I think it's all interconnected, right? It's all interconnected, and this could affect how we do things, later spiritually, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Um, so So one thing I wanted to ask, and one thing I have been asked, and I did give a lot of examples of it on the little Reddit post that I did, but how has their experimentation with this with the LHC, how has it affected us really in the past?
So let me tell you, the first time they really launched CERN, most people say 2003. The first time they really launched CERN was 9/11. If y'all remember, they were harvesting all that sad and pain and greed and that uh that energy at that time. That was one of the times they started the process because they didn't know about that technology back then. They had just got the technology back then. Then 2003 they turned it back on again, and then 2012 they turned it back on again. Each time they turned it on, micro incremental changes have occurred. If you notice, like Oscar Mayer became Oscar Mayer, Home Depot became the Home Depot. You get what I'm saying? The
Whoa,
Publishers
I didn't know
Clearinghouse.
that one. I
Yeah,
didn't know that one.
yeah.
Wow.
Some people see the Home Depot right now, and most people say that's not propaganda. They just changed their name. No, because some of these places, when they make changes, they have to list it out for you in advance. Some of these changes were just instant. Like one day you see the Home Depot, and then a month later, why? When did it become the Home Depot? America's Publishing Clearinghouse and Publishers Clearinghouse. That's a major one with Ed McMahon being the host. Some people said Ed McMahon was never the host, and Fruit of the Loom having a cornucopia versus Fruit of the Loom not. The Flintstones with the Flint stones. Those little incremental changes, that's not just marketing. They didn't just change those out of nowhere. Nah. Some companies do upgrade their name and brand, yes, but not like this. It's just been
Mhm.
sudden. There was a video on TikTok of a man who had a room in his house where he had this book that would say Bernstein Bears, right? He would walk a little further in the room on the video and showing that it shifted to Bernstein Bears. As soon as he shifted, he had some kind of glitch in his room and the book changed. It's on TikTok. You can go type in Bernstein Bears room on the search bar and you can look it right on up and it will
Whoa.
blow. Yeah. And there was another man on TikTok who had an old cellular phone where uh he would show images of certain things. And when he put the phone over it, it would show another image because the phone was from a different timeline.
Whoa. Man, this is crazy, but this is crazy. I don't know. I was bugging a little bit looking at my laptop and then my desktop. So what I have set up right now is I got a monitor right here. So that's
Hmm.
why I'm looking away and I got my laptop over here.
Yeah.
And I got it hooked up with an HDMI. But as we were just saying that and talking about glitches, man, my computer screen over here, I don't know if the video is going to pick that up. I hope it does. That was weird. But the video over here on this laptop screen started going like and having
I'm
lines
glad
through it.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a lot of glitches going on right now. I had somebody tell me today that their brother was looking at the time. He went and ate, smoked a cigarette, and went back and sat down at the chair he was sitting in, and it was still the same time. There was nothing wrong with the alarm clock. He even said he went and took a nap. When he took
Wow.
a nap and woke up, it was the same time. He unplugged the clock, put it back in, and it was still the same time after adjusting the time.
That is so
So,
wild, dude. That just happened while we were recording, dude. That is so wild. And
mhm,
it didn't even over with the HDMI cord. It should have been on both screens.
yep.
What the
It's not
fuck?
just it's not just it's not just a computer error. These glitches are happening. People are seeing people appear out of nowhere. You're seeing light orbs on the side of your face, shadows on the side of your face.
Yes.
Not this.
Yes, I've been seeing shit like that too, man. I've been seeing shit like that too. Just
Mhm.
peripheral vision type things where I've been, what's that? What's that? Or my girlfriend, I think she says my name or something,
Yep.
and she don't
It's
say nothing.
basically there's a veil between the spiritual realm and our realm. That veil is coming down as well. So all this basically we see 1% of light out of our eyes. There's
Uh-huh.
99% of things that are around us at all times that we can't perceive yet because we don't have enough light in our eyes. So, like recently, have you been seeing people talk to trees recently?
Yeah, I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it on TikTok, and I was doing it myself just yesterday when I was out in the woods.
Trees have always been conscious. It's just that we couldn't see it. But now, with the collective consciousness doing it at the same time, you see people talking to trees, hey, touch me if you're conscious. And you see without wind, too. Some people say that's wind or there's somebody in the background. There's thousands of videos now of people standing still with no wind, and they're holding the phone in different angles to show you ain't nobody around, and the tree limbs start coming down slowly and start tapping people.
Wow, man.
It's not a coincidence. We're moving into a dimension, and our eyes are moving into a newer dimension where we can see the stuff that we didn't see before.
Wow, man. And now with this thing coming up now, I've seen some people are kind of worried, right?
Hmm.
With what CERN is doing.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people ask me. So I had a lot of people ask me how it could affect us in the future, but with the last explanation you gave, I'm sure we could leave it up to people to assume, because I mean that maybe we can be expecting more of those Mandela effects, but with it being powered up twice as much power now, I don't know if it's going to be something more extreme or not. But I've also had people have asked what can they do to make sure that while this is happening, they will be protected spiritually, or they can.
Okay, if you want to protect yourself at this time, you have to raise your vibration to the highest. So basically, what that means is solving those traumas and inner troubles. If you have repeated patterns or repeated behaviors or situations that kept looping, what I mean by looping is if they keep happening to you over and over again, it's a lesson you need to learn from that in order to progress. We all came to this planet to learn a lesson. Your lesson might be different from mine, but the overall goal is to understand and know that we're all one. We're all connected to the same source. Like you said, there's a network around us, like an internet. Like all the reason why we have cell phones is to make a synthetic telepathy. We already have our organic internet right now. It's just showing part of being on Earth is to show you that you're part of this organic network and that you're one of many, but you have your own individual consciousness. And in order to protect that consciousness, you have to solve those traumas and troubles. That's number one. Number two, you can listen to frequency music. There are certain frequencies in life that are associated. Let me put it to you like this: everything has a frequency around you at all times. There are certain frequencies that help tune your body and to get it in alignment with itself. For instance, one of them is 417 hertz. That removes like negative emotions from you, like anxiety, depression. Another one is 528. That's for positive transformation in your body. Another one is 963 hertz. It's known to help your third eye open. So you can look at these different chakras and different frequencies. What you look for is called solfeggio frequencies. This is the scale in which there are positive vibrations, frequencies, and sounds that help to enlighten and enrich our vibe, soul, and existence. Those frequencies can help protect you as well. Get you frequency tools like a Tibetan sound bowl or a crystal healing pyramid or a tuning fork,
Yeah.
handpans, flutes. Things like that help to awaken you and to get you centered with yourself as well. Another thing you can do is ground yourself. Take your shoes and socks off, put your feet in the grass, and go look at the sun. It's called grounding. If you look at the sun at sunrise and sunset while your feet are in the grass, it's called sun gazing. What sun gazing is a way to recharge your spiritual energy and your energy. So if you've ever played a video game and they have health in the mana bar or the magic bar, in order to recharge that magic bar, you put your feet in the grass and you sun gaze at the sun at sunrise, because that's one of the only times you can stare at the sun without your eyes burning. And the
Mm.
same thing with sunset. And if you do that over the course of time, let's say you do it every day, within 2 to 3 years, you may not even need to eat, because your energy can give you sustenance more than any food can. But we've taught ourselves to eat food. We used to not eat food when we first came here. We're energy beings first and foremost. This is your avatar. So before we learned how to eat, we used to absorb energy to where we didn't need to eat.
Wow. Similar
Hmm.
to photosynthesis, right?
Yep, we had chlorophyll in our skins and bodies. That's what Mongolian birthmarks are. They call them Mongolian birthmarks, but when they look like green on a person's body and they disappear over the years, that's more chlorophyll in their skin.
Whoa, man. That's crazy.
Hmm.
That's fucking
It's
crazy.
it's not just no genetic error or defect. Like some of the stuff they label as defects and useless and all that is actually stuff that gives us power.
Wow, man. And
Hmm.
and do you believe that CERN's actually trying to open a portal?
Yes, they even said it. Like I posted a video on my page where they have um it's a photo from one of their meetings where they
Uh-huh.
say they're trying to merge dimensions together like Avengers when they were opening up portals and
Yeah.
merging dimensions. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find the dimensions in which they win and rule the world and combine those with the current dimension so they can win, but they already lost. They will never win. And when they launch that, let's say nothing happens, they may create a black hole that's small, probably like this big, and you won't even know nothing about it. I told you nothing happened. I told you, right? But once it starts moving, it'll start absorbing things. And when it starts absorbing things, that's when it get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's one thing that can happen. Number two, let's say they launch the particle collider, and it shuts down or it messes up, right? It'll still send out an electrical surge if it messes up. That's the perfect time to say, oh, it was an EMP attack from another country, quotations, and
Yeah.
then shut down electronics, because since they can't stop the truth on the internet now, just turn it off.
And
That's the only
that could be one reason why these motherfuckers aren't doing anything about CERN. Because I was
exactly.
wondering why isn't the Switzerland government going there and being like, hey, these guys might be trying to summon the destruction god Shiva,
Hmm.
maybe we should do something about it. But if everybody's working with that NATO idealist one world agenda, then
They
it could
they
be in their best interest to shut us down
They want that
entirely.
too. Most people don't even know there's more than one CERN. They have two or three or more in the United States alone. They have one in Tennessee. They have one in Alaska. They have the big Switzerland CERN, but they have other smaller versions all over the planet. And like I told people in one of my videos, most CERNs would be close to ley lines or high energy, high magnetism points. So basically, churches, cathedrals, military bases, all of these are on ley lines. That's why you feel so much energy when you go into these places. They were strategically placed in those places in order to produce more energy. Same thing with cities. Cities weren't just put in those locations just because they settled the area. They used that area because it had a high energy area where they can siphon more. That's why cities are built like motherboards.
Whoa. And do you one thing that I was thinking that maybe when and this is just speculation on my part, but
Mhm.
like maybe in the past when they have fired up this LHC and opened portals,
Mhm.
they could have possibly released some of these uh beings into the world that are like these energy harvesters that we might have seen at the Travis Scott concert or in other places. Like I think I seen another video of one in a football stadium. I don't necessarily know if it's because I know that they'll come to areas of negative energy for sure, because they can really wax the rocks on that shit. But like also they can harvest positive energy as well, or just neutral energy. Correct?
Yep. They harvest their game is to harvest negative energy. Any kind of negative, any kind of sadness, pain, sorrow, grief, anger, that's on the spectrum scale of emotions. All
Uh-huh.
of those emotions are on the lower end of the emotional frequency scale. Love and light is at the top. Love, compassion are at the top of the energy scale. Basically, it's a you could type in emotional frequency scale
Hmm.
on TikTok or Instagram, and you can look at the different wavelengths of each emotion. They harvest the lower wavelengths because we are in 3D right now. What's happening is the whole world is moving to 5D right
Uh-huh.
now. As a collective consciousness, think of the world as leveling up. It has enough experience points in its life cycle in order to upgrade itself. We're the first planet in all the universes, all the galaxies, all across the space, everywhere to evolve as a planet. We're the first planet. That's why it's a blessing to be on here. But it's like, whoo, man, sometimes it's like, can I restart? Give me new game mode plus. I'm trying to
That's
get to
right,
the
man.
next level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, man, for sure. Wow. Man, that is some heavy hitting shit right there.
Yeah,
Holy moly, man.
it's a
So
lot,
that's
man.
good. You can keep yourself on a high frequency then just by keeping love, just by
Yeah,
keeping love and positivity.
it's not just positivity. Now, some people will tell you, keep be positive vibes. You will be in darkness too, because light cannot be created without darkness. That some people forget that. There are periods in time where your darkness has to play a point in your life in order to help you grow. Some people don't want to grow from that position. They want to stay in darkness and because it feels comfy. This is, oh man, this is where I always known. This is where I want to stay. But the thing is, you have to recognize it and see it as part of your life instead of seeing it as a negative. Because think about it like this: the highest creator, they're not always positive, they're not always negative, they're right in the middle. What changes is their attitude towards what's going on, their experiences to what's going on. So I'll put it to you like this: most people see heaven and hell as up and down.
Hmm.
Heaven and hell is left and right. You're in the middle, you're a medium. And the way you move depends on your experiences and how you handle the situations of your life. So your energy can move towards heaven this way if you think a certain way, or it can move towards hell this way if you do certain actions and be certain and do certain experiences.
That's even how a frequency scale is set up too. When you're
Exactly.
moving your hands like that, I was thinking like audio going back and
That's
forth on a
ex-
frequency
that's
scale. That's
exactly what
crazy.
it is. All life is energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what
Wow,
it
man.
comes down to.
That is so crazy, dude. That is so crazy. Just blowing my fucking mind right now.
I
Just blowing
know.
my fucking mind. And okay, so another thing I wanted to talk to you about too is
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you about your knowledge on pyramids, man.
Oh man, it's a lot out there that. So let me tell you, the stuff you learned in school, they won't tell you the truth. They have esoteric knowledge. There's frequencies out there that can change your entire life. Some of those pyramids emit frequencies. They used to use bin stones at the top of pyramids, so they would be made out of copper, granite, like a conductive electrical material at the top,
Hmm.
gold, and these would use the magnetism from the earth and amplify it through the pyramid. Think of the pyramid as a tuning fork. It would amplify the energy, put it to the top, and it would have multiple uses. Most people see the pyramids as one thing. It's multiple. It was Wi-Fi. It was a teleportation device. It would help you increase your electromagnetic field. Even to this day, you can go to a pyramid right now and you can feel the vibration and feel the energy from a pyramid. That's the reason why they took those off the top, because those bin stones would amplify the energy, and basically they're all over the planet. They have pyramids, over 2,000 pyramids in America alone. Some of them above ground, some underwater, some hidden. They have some in the Grand Canyon. They have some in Georgia. They have some in Skinwalker Ranch. They have
Whoa,
some.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow,
most
that's
people don't.
crazy.
Some of these things are underground. There's a whole underground tunnel and cavern system all over the United States. You know why? Where do all those missing people go?
Mm. Yeah, what
Exactly.
something like 5 million people or some shit go missing out of the United States every year. It might even
Yeah,
be a bigger number. It might, but I'm not entirely too sure. I'm no
I'm gonna
fucking
tell you the minimum is 445,000 people go missing every year in the Americas.
wow,
That's
man.
just America.
That's crazy.
That's the place.
That's a fucking high number.
I'm gonna tell you something crazy right now. They have these things called breeding farms where they harvest people that go missing and they harvest them underground to where some of those children and beings have never seen the day of light. And if they go out into the light, they would die because they couldn't handle the sun rays.
Holy shit, that's some City of Ember shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, it's a
Fucking
lot
A.
of stuff, man. They show you right in your face. So let me tell you about that real quick. The reason why they show you this stuff in your face through TV, movies, games, all this stuff is because it's part of their religion. They have a
Uh,
religion to where they have to tell you what they're doing. And if you don't say anything, that's the same as accepting it. So, for instance, The Simpsons. Most people think, oh, the Simpsons predict a lot of stuff. They're not predicting nothing. They're programming it. So there's two. If you're a magic person, they're using something called chaos magic. It's a type of manifestation magic. If you get enough people to think of the same thing to happen, it can collectively come to fruition. For the people who are into science, it's called subliminal programming. I show you in advance. So when it comes, you're like, oh, it's all right. Like we seen iRobot. They got AI. And we're like, oh,
mm,
we seen that already. You see how simple it is to program something like that into
yeah,
you? Oh, we
for
seen
sure.
that already.
Yeah. That's crazy too that you mentioned that about The Simpsons because I just saw something on TikTok yesterday of them having an episode just that was coming out. I don't know how long ago, but it was pretty recent, and they had a clip of an electromagnetic fucking EMP happening. Have you seen that one?
Yep, I
Yep,
sure did.
yep. And they had the bomb shelter guys, and they were showing Homer everything. What are you gonna do at an EMP attack?
That's
Whoa,
what, like I said, they're trying to program you. So let's say CERN, like I said, what if CERN malfunctions? That'll be the perfect time to launch an EMP attack
right. That's
from
true.
another country, quotations.
Well, yeah, because they're literally using as the most amount of power that
Mhm.
mankind has ever used
Produced. Yep.
at one point in time. Like everything that we have had in mankind leading up to July 5th,
Hmm.
we have not ever used that much power. So it's like, let that sink in, guys. Like, let that sink in, guys. We have never used that much power
Ever.
ever. And one thing, too, that I was thinking is, are they trying to crash the fucking simulation? Because
Yes.
because what's one thing that happens to a computer when you use a program that has never used that much RAM on your computer? Let's say you have a mega computer, but we got this brand new fucking program and we're gonna fire it up and it's gonna use every single resource that your fucking computer has to offer, but it might show you something on how your shit works, bud.
I
Sketchy.
agree. I agree.
Sketchy.
It's sketchy.
Sketchy,
Because
man.
the funny thing is, if you look at the people who work for CERN, if you really look at their face, it looked like they were programmed to say what they're saying.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it wasn't just no coincidence or, oh no, we're just gonna fire this up. Yeah, we're good to go. And it's like somebody's like, yeah, you better say that on the side. Like, I
Uh-huh.
wish you would say something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, dude. There's that chick's there's a profile on TikTok. I pulled some of her I had to screen record them because her profile doesn't allow you to save the videos. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because that's the one thing I've been doing for the podcast is I've been saving videos and I've been putting them onto the podcast because they're fucking disappearing off TikTok.
Yeah.
You
They're
know what
doing
I
that on
mean?
purpose. They don't want people to wake up, so they hide certain information. I've gotten community guidelines for videos that I posted in March.
Wow, man. This shit is just unreal, dude. This shit is just
Yeah,
unreal. We're living in new crazy times, just like the craziest of fucking times, man. The
really.
craziest of fucking times.
Yep. So basically, we're at the point, like I told you, Earth is a school. Some people's test is finished. This is like another round in the school. Some people's test is finished. That's what that feeling of relief is. Oh, I got this finished. I achieved it. I finally see and I broke through the matrix. Some people passed. Some people need to stay on the planet and repeat because they don't see. And no matter what you show them, they have cognitive dissonance or willful ignorance. They see it, but they're like, nah, it's okay. I'd rather
Yeah.
just stay like this
Yep.
because see, like for instance, going to the grocery store. How many people know how to go hunt? How many people know how to grow their own food? Some people will rather choose the convenience of being in the system where they're told what to do in order to just go get groceries.
Yep. That's true.
Simple things like that.
Yeah. Dude, that's one thing that I'm super blessed about that I'm like, I spent a long time being a drug addict, is I spent a long time living on the streets. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So when I get back into it, it's gonna be a fucking cakewalk, bud. Because I'm not. It's I mean, yeah, maybe if it gets down to it, and we have an economical collapse and shit, and I'm fucking backpacking across America trying to survive with my family, dude, I'll be prepared to fucking sleep in the rain. I'll be prepared to be cold. It'll be fine.
Because
I
you
mean, at
did it
least
already.
I'll be good. But
Yeah.
maybe every single trial and tribulation in my fucking entire life that I thought was something that was just gonna damn me for the rest of it will be something that brings my fucking family out of the shit later on. Because I can be
Honestly.
there and be like, hey man, we're gonna be fine. You don't need a
Honestly.
fucking apartment. You don't need a bed. You don't, because really what you need is the human connection. And another thing that I can say too about being homeless is that the most human connection that I've had in my life, I've met people, dude, that has just been like some dude on the side of the river on drugs, whatever, but he's got stories. He's a veteran. He's a this, he's a that, I've learned so much from these people. And that's another thing that just taught me about human connection too, and just really kind of formed me to be the person that I am now, in belief that, like, fuck man, everybody deserves everybody deserves happiness and peaceful.
Honestly, think about it this way. If you had everything taken and stripped from you and you're down to the bare minimum, your bare self, who are you? Most people have to have the internet on in order for them to know who they are. If the
Right.
internet turns off, who are you? That's what you got to ask yourself. What drives you to be a person? You don't have to have a purpose either. I'm gonna just let you know. Most people say you got to have a purpose. You don't. You have to find your flow state or your way of life that's comfortable for you. That's one of the goals in life. Just to find the comfortable state for you. So you don't some people may not want to be millionaires. Some people don't know what it comes with. Some people may just want to live a simple life in the countryside, fishing.
That's
That's
right,
that
man.
that's their cup of tea. You just gotta find your cup of tea.
That's right, man. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Fucking
Life
A.
is so simple. We make it difficult with all these extremities. But like I said, if you ever in doubt, just say, if I didn't have any money, if I didn't have a car, a house, if I didn't have anything, internet, nothing, who am I? And when you ask yourself that question, that's when you start your journey. That's when you start seeing stuff for what it really is.
Man, that's fucking crazy. That's right, man. Dude, this has been an amazing conversation. I've had a really good time talking with you, man.
Me
Um,
too, man. I'm glad you had me on the podcast, bro. I look forward to coming back
though
and
I would love to
shooting.
have you back again. I would love to have you back again, and we should talk again after this fifth coming up, and we'll see, compare realities, see what's going
See what
on.
happens. Yeah, see what
Yeah,
happens.
you know what I
And
mean,
just
buddy?
yeah, and one thing I gotta tell people real quick, no matter what happens, just go with the flow. Some things you can't control, but it doesn't make sense to worry, be sad, or be angry over it. Just let it circulate. Okay, I'm feeling this right now, or okay, this is happening. What am I doing next? You can only focus on the present moment. So just focus on the present.
For
And once you
sure.
do that and realize your time is special, you got it.
Hell
Life
yeah,
will be
man.
smooth sailing.
That's right. And I would totally, I want to talk to you again, but I
Yeah.
want to talk to you again. I want to be more organized the next time. I want to have more questions to ask you, more qualifying stuff. I got to get some shit typed up so I can be like,
Bro, it's okay. I like free flowing. This is my second one, and the first podcast I did, we did the same thing. We just free flowed and went
oh,
with
cool,
it.
right on, right on, cool, right on, right on.
Yeah.
That's what's up,
Sometimes
man.
it's easier to be organic, have a couple topics, but it's easier to be organic because people know I'm not trying to set up no persona like I'm this super guru. Nah, I'm just a
Yeah,
person that's experienced life, and
I
I
get
know
that.
some of y'all might share the same experiences.
Yeah, man. I'd say the same shit. I'd be like, I ain't nobody special. I'm just a guy that fucking questions things, you know. So I'm here giving my opinion, stating stuff, asking questions. It's all I can do. If it makes a difference at all, I want to make a little bit of a difference, When this fucking shit, man, just waking people up, man. Just as long as you're doing a little bit to help, man, it's just fucking you're doing something good.
That's it. Just a little bit goes a long way, man.
All right, man. I appreciate this, man. I really do.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for having me. If y'all want to follow my socials, click go like real quick, Voilame underscore 3.0, Voilame underscore 4 on TikTok. You can also find me on Telegram, Soft Facts After Dark, all one word. And Instagram is Voilame, Voilame underscore. You can wake up faster if you come to my page.
So
You get
fast. So fast.
you get an
So fast.
express trip to waking up.
That's right, man. And hey, too, you can message me over Instagram any
Hmm.
links that you want me to include.
Oh, okay.
At all, anything that you want me to include, and I will totally put it in the link description and everything for when I put this out. And then when I finish it up and post it, I'll send it to you and whatever.
Yeah, I'll send you my
Cool.
link tree after this, so I got you.
Okay, cool. Right on, man. So you have a blessed day, man. Thank you so much for talking to
Hey,
me.
you too, man. Thank you for having me,
All
brother.
right, man. Have a good one now.
You too.